A surgeon entered the hospital after he was called urgently to perform an immediate operation on a patient. He responded to the call as quickly as possible. He came to the hospital, changed his clothes and washed himself in preparation for the operation. Before entering the operating room, found the patient's father pacing the corridor back and forth with signs of anger evident on his face. As soon as he saw the doctor, he shouted at him, saying, "Why are you delaying, doctor? Don't you realize that my son's life is in danger? Don't you have any sense of responsibility?" The doctor smiled gently and said, "I'm sorry, brother. I wasn't in the hospital and I came as soon as I received the call and as quickly as I could. Now, I hope you calm down and let me do my work and be confident that your son will be in God's care and safe hands." The father's anger did not subside, and he said to the doctor, "Calm down. How cold you are, brother. If your son's life was at stake, would you have calmed down? May Allah forgive you. What if your son died? What would you do?" The doctor smiled and said, "I say the words of Allah the Almighty, those who, when a disaster strikes them, say, 'Indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return.' Is there anything else for the believer? My brother, the doctor does not prolong life or shorten it, and life is in Allah's hands, and we will do our best to save him. But the situation is very dangerous, and if something happens, you must say, 'Indeed, we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return.' Fear Allah and go to the hospital prayer room, pray, and ask Allah to save your son." The father shrugged his shoulders mockingly and said, "How easy it is to preach when it affects another person who is not related to you." The doctor entered the operating room and the operation took several hours. After that, the doctor came out quickly and said to the patient's father, "Be happy, my brother, the operation was completely successful, thank God, and your son will be fine. Now, excuse me, I must hurry up and go immediately, and the nurse will explain the situation to you in detail." The father tried to ask the doctor other questions, but he left in a hurry. The father waited a few minutes until his son came out of the operating room with the nurse. The father said to her, "Why didn't this arrogant doctor wait a few minutes for me to ask him about the details of my son's condition?" Suddenly, the nurse burst into tears and said to him, "The doctor's son died yesterday in an accident and he was preparing for the funeral when we called him to come immediately. We don't have another surgeon but him, and here he is. He has rushed to the funeral and he left his grief over his son to save your son's life. Oh God, have mercy on the souls that suffer and do not speak."